system and reinvest in our communities. We want to hold the city officials accountable for the grants they approved and request that grants which militarize RPD further are not approved. We want no more military equipment in the hands of police. And City Manager Bob Cowell needs to stop signing off on militarized equipment for the police. He is the reason they had tear gas in the first place. The grant they used had blatantly racist language. It said because Roanoke City is a melting pot, it will boil over and end in violence. Wow. But they chose violence not for the Women's March, not for Back the Blue. That's right. Not for any other white-led march, but for marches led by the black community. To them, that is civil unrest. Civil unrest is black people expressing themselves, expressing their anger, their grief, and their unity. That is the unrest they feel they have to police. And it should never be allowed to happen again, and we have to hold city officials accountable. Request that the Roanoke Redevelopment Housing Association and Roanoke City Public Schools terminate their contracts for off-duty billings with Roanoke City Police. Both of those institutions spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on private security through the Roanoke City Police Department. Roanoke Redevelopment Housing claims they don't have enough money to put into air conditioning or quality flooring or flood prevention when they live in flood zones. But they have enough money to spend on police to sit around their neighborhoods and monitor predominantly black communities. Request that grants that fund militarized equipment for RPD be suspended by City Council. They should have no more money for militarized equipment. Those grants, some of them are still in effect and not all the funding has been spent. And they should not be able to spend another dime on treating our city like it's a war zone.
We are not. It's community.
Request that all militarized equipment used or threatened against community members May 30th, 2020 be released by RPD and disposed of. No more tear gas. No more pepper bullets. No more pepper spray. None of it. There is no reason to use that against non-violent community members. When someone is violent, as we see from a couple weeks ago, they don't use their pepper spray to de-escalate. They just shoot. But when people are non-violent and they're walking down the street demanding justice, they decide to gather arms amongst themselves and threaten the city and pepper spray teenagers. We want to create a relationship between city officials and community members that is transparent and communicative in terms of actions and funding that are taken to protect the city. I don't know if any of you have looked at the city budget for the police department, but it is not transparent. Tens of thousands of dollars were taken out of the budget this year, and no one knows where it went or why it was needed last year. Technically, this year the budget has been lowered from what it was previously, but there are increases for the jail that they don't say what it's for. Is it to put bathrooms on the second and third floors? Or is it for more security cameras? We want to do additional research to understand the ways that police are funded, the ideologies that justify their funding, and the abolition approaches which are meant to address them. We know that there's a lot of work that goes into understanding why the city does what it does. And it is up to us to dissect that and to demand that they put their somewhere else, because anything that they are putting towards public safety is not actually decreasing the violence in our communities. Lastly, I'm asking you to spread the word about how tax money is spent to fund police harm or ineptitude. This isn't coming from Sherman Lee's paycheck. This is coming from the paychecks of hardworking Roanokers that are taxed to fund this very institution, and it is up to us to demand that our taxes are used to legitimately keep our community safe.
That's right.
No justice!
No peace.
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 I don't think that's a